Bad Batch episode 4 just dropped on Disney Plus yesterday, and I have a review for all the previous episodes if you'd like to see my review for that. I really don't have too much to say about this one because it's a pretty simple episode. We have it's a lot. Both these episodes, the last two episodes, including this one, reminded me of the Mandalorian. Because like last week's episode was kind of like that, reminded me of that icy planet episode they crash land, and this episode reminded me of the episode where Mando kind of stops to get like his ship fixed up. This episode's kind of like that. We have basically, this episode is an episode where Mando, or not Man, the Bad Batch crash land on this planet. Well, they don't crash land. They land on this planet to get their ship fixed after the events of last week's episode, and now we have Fennec Shan, who returns from an episode from The Mandalorian. Of course, she was in that show, and now she's on the Bad Batch's tail hunting for Omega. That's kind of the plot of this episode. That's kind of all that really happens here. It isn't too complex. I like the animation in this episode. It looked gorgeous. The background's phenomenal, beautiful, but I'm curious what Omega's deal is. Why do they want her? What's her deal? She did mention she's never been out of Kamino. What does that mean? I don't know. What does any of this mean? I think this is one of her better episodes because a lot of the show has had the first few episodes of the show. She breaks the tone. The tone gets dark. It gets serious. Then she comes in. And it's like kidified, and it's like, well, okay, what are you doing here? Like, what are we going for here? What tone are we going for? What are we doing? And so, having now being a character who's hunting for her on the run, and that she's going to be a recurring character, which is great. I want to see what happens with that. I think that's going to be something great, interesting, but I don't know where that's going yet. I don't know much about this character. I really enjoyed this episode. I think it was a very solid episode, but I don't know. I still am very conflicted on this character, and I want to see more of this character, but it's also like, you're not really giving me too much here. I think that's a big problem with this episode is the show so far is I need to know what's up with this character to know if I like her. That's just flat out it, and I don't know. But I still will continue watching. I'm excited for episode 5 next week and see where this goes. I like that we have a recurring villain and threat, because in Clone Wars, it wasn't that type of show. Rebels had a recurring threat and villain, but they kind of had a new one each season. Maybe this show will be similar to that, so we don't know. But it seems a little bit different than other previous like Star Wars animated shows, and I think that this is going to be pretty cool to check out week to week. So